Welcome back. My name is Shakil Salam and you're watching the Health Show on Ummah Channel Sky 820. We're talking about looking after your kidneys, but this bit we're going to specifically target to raise awareness in terms of organ donation. There's a massive issue. Jay just mentioned that in our community, diabetes is a massive issue, and because of kidney failure, a lot of people are on organ register, but there's very few kidneys available for the community. So it's really important for us to do that. So to raise awareness, let's watch a short video which is produced by Behtar Sehat and in supported by NHS Trust. So here is a short clip and we'll come back to you after that.
I've been waiting for a transplant for 2 years, and my condition is getting worse.
"1,800 people from the Asian community are awaiting a transplant. It's about time our community started to talk about organ donation."
"27% of those on the transplant waiting list are of Asian origin. It's about time our community started to talk about organ donation."
If anyone saved a life, it would be as though if he saved the life of the whole people. It's about time our community started talking about organ donation.
My mum has been waiting for a transplant for 5 years now. It's about time our community started to talk about organ donation.
People from South Asian communities are more susceptible for the diseases causing organ failure, for example, high blood pressure and diabetes. It's about time our community started to talk about organ donation.
If I don't get a transplant soon, I will die.
a very powerful message from the community and for the community. Ajay, you've watched the video. How important it is for our community to get involved with organ donation?
I think it highlights, and it's like it's almost a double whammy for us because we get more than fair share of the kidney disease. So there are more South Asians who are on dialysis waiting for transplant. And on the same side, when it comes to the donation, majority of the donations are not from South Asian, as we've just seen the message that genetically the makeup is different. So the kidneys coming from the same ethnic background function better and are more successful. I think it's last year's figures, there were kind of 1,200 donation, of which only 21 came from Asian. So that's a very, very small percentage. And that means although 1 in 3 in 10 patients waiting for transplant are Asian, only 23% transplant go to Asian patients. So every year 7% Asians are falling behind the list, and that list just keeps growing. So unless more Asian people come forward with organ donation, this problem is going to get worse over a period of time.
Fazan, how important it is for our community to come forward?
I think it's very important to come forward, but not only that, to talk about it with your loved ones, because at the end of the day, it's future generations and also the older generations that need to learn about different aspects of life that are going to affect us now in the modern world. So I think talking about it is a great first step, whether it's with your parents, with your kids when they get a bit older and understand what it's about, or your elders. I think if we get together and talk about it, that would be a great help also.
Sadia?
I was almost ignorant about kidney disease. When it happened to me, I had to teach myself, find out about myself, a lot of stuff, what's going on. So again, same message as Faizan, talk about it. Talk about it in the languages that people understand in, talk about it in the South Asian languages, talk about it in English, have discussions about it. There's so much support out there that can help you. You've got the Kidney Federation, you've also got the Kidney District Support Group in Blackburn, You've got so much support out there, and if you just take the initial step of just discussing of what it is, understand that this is, it might not seem as if it's something small now, but as time goes on, if we don't get these donations, these kidney donations, it's probably going to get worse. 1 in 3 people, I think, Doctor will agree with me, 1 in 3 people are die waiting for transplants.
And you've gone through that process, and does that make you more aware of it? And if there is any opportunity, will you donate your organs?
Yeah, after I've had my transplant, I've started to become more aware of it and making people more aware of it. I work with a number of agencies. I work with One Voice. I work with Kidney District Group. I try to raise awareness where I can. But also, the one thing that's allowed me to do is donate my organs myself. So I've registered as a donor, and that's very important to me. But the key thing about any donation, you can have kidney donation, but I put any donation, any organ donation, is talk to your loved ones. It's very, very important, because if I say I want to donate part of my body and my family don't agree with it, if I don't tell my family, my husband or my mum and dad, when the time comes to donate, if they say no, I don't want Sadia's organ to be donated, they won't be donated. It's very important that you go through that process and you think about it. And if you are going to donate, tell your family. That's the crucial thing. The message: tell your family that you are going to donate.
Okay, a very important message. Jay, when we talk about kidney, one kidney can function very well.
Yeah.
So why do we need 2 kidneys?
I think we're provided with surplus, and that's probably why the bodies can take some degree of abuse when we got extra thing. And that is not to say that even 2 kidneys are enough, and people born with 2 kidneys we've seen ending up on dialysis. So although we're provided with surplus, we still have to look after it very much. And at the same time, as one healthy kidney is sufficient to keep the life going if you look after it. That also makes it easy to donate the kidney and give somebody else that gift of life, as long as you got 1 healthy kidney.
So in terms of donation, so if a healthy person with 2 kidneys can donate 1 kidney to their loved one, or?
Absolutely, yeah. And people have to go through certain tests to make sure that they themselves are fine, because after all, one needs to think that they may have whatever depending on how old they are. So if somebody is 40 years old, they have another 30, 40 years life ahead of them, and they need to go through a series of tests to make sure that this remaining kidney is healthy enough to keep going for the next 40 years. Once they've gone through the test, then it is absolutely safe. Obviously, they have to go through an operation, but people who donate kidney will live normal life and with much greater degree of satisfaction that they've done an excellent, good deed.
And one of the question we're getting it, when people have the transplant, can they have a normal life? Can they run? They can go for a walk? They can do sort of normal things?
Yeah, what generally the only thing we say is to avoid contact sports like rugby type of things, because the transplant kidney is slightly superficial, so it's a little bit vulnerable for trauma. But that's the only thing we're talking about. There are transplant games, are there? Transplant marathon is there?
Yeah,
transplant
there's
Olympics
marathons
are there.
all.
Yeah. So transplant patients can they have climbed the mountains, so the life comes back to normal. We've heard from Faisal and Sadia both. And the donors can do exactly the same thing, or they're even more healthier than that because they've not gone through the kidney failure. So donors are equally healthy, and some studies actually show donors live longer than non-donors, not because they've donated, but because they've gone through so many tests that they've been selected healthy people.
Yeah.
And they live more than normal population.
That's a very positive thing to understand as well, isn't it? Fizan, when you had your transplant, did you get donation within the family, or did you wait for organ national register?
So my first one when I was 3,
Yeah.
I got from someone who passed away. So I don't know because I was really young. But the most recent one that's now failing was from a family member.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So how difficult it was for family to donate? Were they, because Sadia said, her family wanted to donate, so probably same thing happened to you, so.
For me, it was a bit strange.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Getting from family?
Yeah. But once I got my head around it and I understood how it worked and stuff, I felt a bit better about it. How it felt for the family member, you'd probably have to ask them a bit more. But I've done it, so it must be all right.
So it was okay. It was work. You fit. The function was.
When I had it, it was fine. It was good. Everything was hunky dory. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's look at some of the key prevention. So, everybody is watching. We don't have to wait for kidney failure. We need to start looking after our kidneys now. So, what are the key sort of prevention method everybody need to start looking for?
Yeah, I think one of the big thing probably we do need to talk is the kidney damage causes the biggest problem is with the heart trouble, because that leads to heart disease.
Right.
And if there is one single strong reason to look after our kidneys is to protect our heart. If we look after kidney, your heart will be fine.
Right.
And it seems like people with the kidney damage, not all of them survive long enough to need dialysis because the heart disease is so strong in these people. So it's very important to have that healthy lifestyle for the kidney, which directly helps the heart. And because diabetes and blood pressure are the two most common reasons for kidney disease, they are also strong risk factors for the heart disease. And when you've got this kind of unhealthy combination of diabetes, heart disease and kidney damage, the risk of heart disease does go high, and that's where all the lifestyle becomes very important. So the healthy diet, having that 5 fruits and vegetables, drinking plenty of fluids, not fizzy drinks, not fried stuff, not kind of processed food. Processed food is bad because we don't know what goes in. There's a lot of phosphate and there's a lot of salt in there. So reduction in the salt is very important for the diet. Regular exercise is very important. It doesn't have to be a good 2-hour session in the gym, whatever. Even if you're active at home, doing your household work with the hoovering or walking around, that's important.
Yeah.
Not sit at one place.
How many glasses of water would you recommend each day?
People say 2 liters is what we need.
2
really.
liters.
And it depends on the weather. So obviously we don't get a lot of very hot days, but say if you're traveling to Pakistan where it's really hot and where you sweat out a lot, you probably need more than that. Bodies are clever enough that they tell you to drink more. So if you're thirsty, don't ignore it. But even if you're not thirsty, you need to make sure that we drank at least 1.5 liters, 2 liters of water, provided your kidneys are healthy. Once the kidneys are damaged, then people do have to go on fluid restrictions, so it all changes.
Okay. Absolutely. Let's take a phone call. Amar is with us from Manchester. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show, Amar.
Wa alaikum assalam. Sir, I just need some advice for Dr. Saab.
Okay.
I recently been diagnosed of a kidney disease.
Right.
So I just would like to know a few more things about this kidney disease. Basically, I mean, I could have checked it on internet, but it actually scares you more. Because I have been doing that since I had problem with my kidneys. Then I eventually decided not to check it again because it was making me more stressful and more worrying all the time. So when I've been watching your show, mashallah, it's very informative. So I just basically what happened recently, I started having problems with my kidneys.
Yeah.
First thing how I noticed this problem, I actually noticed I was having a lot of bubbles in my urine, so I could tell it's not something normal. So still, I not taken any notice of it. I thought it might be I've probably eaten something wrong, or I don't know, maybe it just happened. But then eventually, I had a very bad tummy ache a few times. Then I made an appointment with my GP, and then the GP obviously taken a urine sample and eventually blood sample. But he told me at the beginning I was losing too many red blood cells through my urine. So he sent me for a CT scan, ultrasound and a camera because he was thinking there might be kidney stones or even cancer or whatever. But after all these tests, I was told at North Manchester that I was 99.5%. There was nothing wrong with me. I'm a healthy person. But still I was having these bubbles in my urine, and again after a couple of weeks I had more tummy pain and it was very, very bad stomach ache. So I went to my doctor again, and it was another doctor at the surgery, and then she said, she looked at my record and she said, we already done what we thought we had to do, but what we've not done is check your protein. So she asked me for another urine sample and blood test, and then she called me next after a couple of days when they had the results, and she told me I was losing protein as well through my urine. So she sent me to Salford Royal to see a consultant, and eventually 2 weeks ago I had a biopsy of my kidneys, and then they called me last week and they told me I've got a kidney disease. It's called IgA nephropathy.
Yeah.
And I was told not to worry about too much. They told me the kidneys are functioning okay, and it's a very common sort of disease. And the consultant said to me that they will put me on a blood pressure tablets, which I'm still waiting for my GP to prescribe it to me. So I just wanted to ask, but I was, to be honest with you, I thought the information, I wanted to ask more things, but the consultant there, I mean, obviously you know yourself in hospitals when you go, they're very strict for time, and she couldn't allow me any more time. I thought she was rushing through. So I've been watching this show, and I thought, I've got ideal opportunity to ask Dr. Saab.
Yeah.
Basically, all I want to know what I have to do on my part, even though they told me I have to go on these blood pressure tablets and not to worry about it. But as a human being, it's a nature. I'm still worried, and I just wanted to know what else I have to do diet-wise, or any other thing Dr. Saab would like to tell me about this disease, how dangerous it is, or how common it is, or what I have to do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amar Bhai. I hope everything goes well, and thanks very much for sharing your personal story with us. Inshallah, we'll talk to Ajay. This is something, isn't it, when you've been told.
Absolutely.
And consultant, you're a wonderful consultant. You're here with us today, but some consultants don't even have 5-10 minutes to sit with patients and explain.
And I think most patients do come out with that kind of feeling that they haven't really got the full information. And don't hesitate to ask questions. That's what you're there for, and that's what we're there for. It's our job. So not to hesitate. IgA nephropathy is a relatively common condition.
Is it?
And it can be one of the slow progressing, or it doesn't even progress at all. So blood pressure is the only treatment for that. And yes, Our Bhai needs to be on the blood pressure pills.
So controlling the blood pressure.
That's the most
essential.
crucial thing, yeah. At this point in time, there isn't any other drugs for IgA nephropathy, but there's a lot of research going on, and hopefully in 2-3 years' time, we'll have drugs that could stop it completely. So I don't think he really has anything to worry about. And as I said earlier, the healthy lifestyle, so regular exercise, keep your weight under control, keep your diet sensible, have your cholesterol checked, have your blood pressure checked, and whatever pills are prescribed, take them on regular basis.
And that's really important, isn't it?
That's very important.
And there is opportunity for him to control and you know, keep the kidneys.
It can carry on for years and years without causing any problems. I don't think he needs to worry about it.
Okay, that's fantastic. We got a really good calls to finish off our program today. But before we go, I think it's really important that people would like to know where they can access information. So if people want to know more about it, is there any organization, any websites, anything you can recommend?
So each hospital should have the leaflets in their outpatient area, and I think most of the hospitals will have the information about the chronic kidney disease. The National Kidney Federation website gives a lot of information about the kidney disease, how to look after it, what are the precautions to be taken, what are the sources available for the help. So National Kidney Federation probably is one of the best websites to refer to. There are a few American websites as well, which are very good as well, but I think we could stick to kind of UK websites. And ask your doctor, even those who are on dialysis, the dialysis nurses know an awful lot about it, and they can tell you a lot of practical things if doctors don't have time or they're rushed. The dialysis nurses give an awful lot of information, and don't hesitate to ask questions.
Okay. Fazan, you mentioned about social media and websites and all that. Do they have good information about
Yeah, they have quite a lot of information. One that I personally am part of, so obviously there's the NKF, but they have like a branch off for young people, so like you're under 30, so it's just called Young at NKF. So it's quite simple, but yeah, if you're a bit younger and you're having issues or problems or you want someone to talk to, there's a massive forum there as well. So there is that also.
Absolutely. Sadia, you doing a bit of, we got another caller. Look at callers are coming in now. Right. Shaheen is with us from London. Assalamu alaikum, Shaheen.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Basically, I just wanted to know how, is there any specific drink or any specific diet a person can, have to make, basically, keep your kidneys healthier?
Okay, I think what I understood was specific diet you wanted to know, isn't it? Because I think the line is a bit tricky. So yeah, absolutely, very quickly, any specific diet.
So the doctors and dietitian will tell, because at different stages, different restrictions come into play. If the kidney function is more than 30%, the basic thing is less salt, less fried stuff, and fruits and vegetables. When it goes below that, and then there will be restrictions about less kind of meat and products kind of thing. So the dietitian and doctor will tailor it for the need of the kidney.
So dietitian is the best person to get in touch with. Almost finishing the program, what will be the key message, final message, just quick message for the community?
Heart disease is most common in kidney patients. Look after your kidneys, they will look after your heart. Healthy lifestyle, regular exercise, drink plenty of fluids, don't smoke.
Fazan, what's your message for the community?
Talk to your families, talk about organ donation, and if you can help a fellow man, it can't hurt, can it? So.
Absolutely. Sadia, your key message?
Again, raise the issue, talk about it, discuss it with family, with friends. If you're not sure about it, the websites are there, the forums are there, and if you can, donate. I would say if you can, donate.
Can I say thank you very much, Ajay, for you coming along and giving valuable time to us. We really appreciate. Fazan, thank you very much for sharing your personal information. It was really interesting to find out, as a young person, how you've gone through. Sadia, thank you very much for sharing your personal information and your journey and really appreciate it, and the feedback we're getting is very positive. So thank you very much for coming along. And with that note, can I just say thank you to everybody else, people who made the calls and shared their experiences. But important thing is to learn and talk about it, learn more about kidney. Organ donation is really important. Please donate and be part of it. Can I just say thank you very much to Parveen Awan, who is not with us, but she always very passionate about kidney and kidney support group. The Blackburn and District Kidney Support Group is your local Blackburn-based group, which is fantastic. It's been running for a long time, and Parveen Awan is fantastically arranging and supporting family. In fact, part of this show today is a lot of effort from Parveen, so thank you very much, Parveen. Thank you very much for all of you. Inshallah, I'll see you next week with a new topic, with new guests. Until then, goodbye and Allah Hafiz.